Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Think Green. I am your host Pragya. Today I'm filling in for Ria. I hope you all have had a great start to your summer vacation. I know for me it's definitely been nice to just sit back, relax, not study for a while. In our last episode, which was a while ago actually, Ria discussed how you can make your closet sustainable. And this is our first episode in our fashion sustainability series. So definitely look out for more fashion sustainability related episodes. And the last one, Ria talked about how you should avoid polyester clothing and about how you should invest in high quality clothing. And it's really important that all of us invest in sustainable clothing because this is one of the first and easiest steps that we can take to reducing our plastic consumption and to create a greener planet. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can preserve the night sky. I remember the first time when I saw a real night sky with stars and everything. It was in December 2019, and my family and I were taking a road trip in Nevada and Utah, and we had just spent the entire day in Valley of Fire State Park, which is about an hour away from Las Vegas, and we were driving back to our hotel, which was in Las Vegas. And if you've never been to Nevada, the highway was completely rural. There were no lights or buildings or anything. I don't even think there was Wi-Fi. So it was completely dark. It was so dark I couldn't even see my hands in front of my face. I just remember looking outside the window and up at the sky, and there were so many stars. It was beautiful. Just stars were blanketing the sky, and they were so bright. But something is threatening our night sky, and it's light pollution. I know that most of you guys probably have a general sense of what light pollution is, but I'm just going to give a formal definition from the International Dark Sky Association. According to them, light pollution is the inappropriate or excessive use of artificial light. And there are several types of light pollution. There is sky glow, which is when artificial light brightens the night sky in a place that is inhabited. Another type of light pollution is light trespass, which is when light shines in a place where it is not intended or needed. So this would be like a street light shining on a tree. Then there's uplight, which is light that points upward. There's a really great example of this in Las Vegas. There's a hotel and they just have a light on their roof which points upward. It looks really cool, but it's contributing to light pollution. And in later parts of the episode, I'll talk about why that's bad. And then the last one is clutter, which is when lights are grouped together to illuminate the same area. Shopping malls are a really good example. So can you guys think of any examples of light pollution in your community? I know some of the streetlights in my neighborhood, they shine on the trees and the plants, and that's really bad because it's contributing to light pollution. And I'll go more into that later into the episode. You may be wondering, is light pollution really a problem? In short, yes. I know most of us have heard about how bright lights from the side of the hotel or from the road can misguide sea turtles and cause them to wander off onto the road instead of into the ocean. And this was kind of the extent to which I had heard light pollution affecting species, but as I was doing research for this episode, I came across that light pollution affects many other species. For example, fireflies use the lights that they produce to communicate with each other, and streetlights can often hide their glow, keeping them from communicating with each other. Additionally, artificial lights placed near a tree can artificially extend the daytime for trees, which can cause their flowering patterns to change. This means that during the fall time, when trees are supposed to be preparing for winter, they think that it's summer, so they keep growing and growing. And then when the winter months come, they're not prepared, and this significantly weakens the tree. Light pollution can also affect us humans. And contrary to popular belief, humans are not immune to the negative effects of artificial light. Our bodies need nighttime. And this is because our bodies rely on the cardiac cycle, which is governed by the day-night cycle. Exposure to artificial light can disrupt the cycle. For example, at night, humans need it to be completely dark in order to get a good night's sleep. But exposure to artificial light even an hour before we go to bed can cause numerous negative consequences, such as increased risk of disease, lower productivity, increased risk of obesity, and weakens the immune system. Light pollution is bad for us humans, and it's bad for the plants, animals, and insects. Something must be done about light pollution, and in the second half of this episode, I'm going to talk about what you can do to help mitigate the effects of light pollution and to just help mitigate light pollution. If you're enjoying this episode, we would appreciate it if you would leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. That way, you can help more environmentally conscious individuals find this podcast and listen. I have some exciting news. Our podcast is available on Apple Podcast. Just go on the Apple Podcast app, search up Let's Think Green, and it should pop right up. If you want to stay connected and see more environmental content, then follow us on Instagram at Let's Think Green Podcast. Now let's get into what you can do to help mitigate light pollution. Light pollution has not gotten the attention that air and water pollution has gotten, primarily because not a lot of research has been done on the negative effects of light pollution. I was doing some research, and I really liked how this one source put it. They said that the issue of light pollution has been in the dark. That means a lot of people don't really know about light pollution. This means that the most important thing that you can do about light pollution is to inform your neighbors, your friends, your peers, and even your coworkers about what it is and why it's bad. You can either talk to them or send them a text message. You can also send them a website link. I'll put some helpful ones in the description box below, or you can even send them our podcast episode. But the most important thing is that you're spreading awareness about light pollution so that more people know what it is, more people know why it's bad, and so that more people will take the steps necessary to help mitigate light pollution so that we can all live on a greener planet. Some other things which you can do is you can evaluate your own home and make sure that the lights in your home and in your businesses are not contributing to light pollution. This means you should avoid light bulbs that are of a high Kelvin temperature, or in other words, that are of like blue or white color. And this is because the blue and white rays, they are a lot stronger. They contribute more to sky glare, and they're more blinding to birds. Instead, you should use bulbs that are of a lower Kelvin temperature, or in other words, that are like orangish yellow, and these are a lot better for the environment. They will help mitigate light pollution. Another thing that you can do is make sure that the lights on your property are not shining where they're not supposed to be shining. If you have like a light near your garage door, just make sure that it's not shining on to the plants that may be next to your garage. If it is, then you can attach a shield to the light, and this will make sure that the light will only point downward. Another thing which you can do is you can attach motion sensors and timers to your outdoor lights so they only turn on when it's needed. And last thing which you can do is you can shop IDA approved lighting products. IDA stands for International Dark Sky Association, and lights that are IDA approved are environmentally friendly, for they help reduce light pollution. And I'll put a link in the description box so you guys can see which light products are IDA approved. And just a disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I'm just sharing this information freely. So there you have it. Now you have the tools to go and help the planet and save our sky. Or at least this is a start. With you guys taking action and with you spreading the word, we'll be sure to broaden our community and to create an even bigger effort to help mitigate light pollution. If you want to learn more about light pollution, then there are some helpful resources that I have linked in the description box for you guys to visit. I hope that all of you will take the steps that I discussed today, and I know that if we all do, then we will be sure to create some change. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next week when we talk about how you can preserve your backyard biodiversity. See you all next week. Let's think green.